So I just finished watching the movie Thicker Than Water, and Omo, I've never seen a movie. I have actually, but the ability of this film to be well done technically, like on a technical level, it is so good. Yet at times it is so boring. But at the same time, things are happening, so you cannot say nothing is happening. But at the same time, it's leaving audiences battling sleep. I can almost bet money on this, or I can almost bet money. There are so many people did not finish this film. There are so many people left this film within the first hour. I can bet money. If you did not finish, please let me know in the comments. And I'm sure that you I'm sure. Or if you did, I'm sure you were battling sleep. Or if you're watching with somebody, that person was battling sleep. I can almost put money on it. This film, I is good, but is it, it's good. The ending, as is what I would say, is really, if you stayed till the ending, then you will agree that the ending is surprises. There's one plot twist that we all kind of saw coming, but then there's the other plot twist that I at least didn't see coming. I was like, oh wow, that was surprising. I will let you know in the spoiler section. This is the non-spoiler section. But wow, this movie overall, will I say rush or run to go and watch this film? I guess if there's nothing else you're watching, or you're not watching it with people, then I guess. But if you're watching with people and you're looking for something very, very like gang, hey, hey, no go area. This film. Well, I have notes. I have like a bunch of notes. So I'm just going to jump in as I always do. Check out the movie if you are interested. It's essentially about a girl who goes to a town to find her missing sister. And then that leads her on a journey. So that's what the movie is about. You can check out the trailer. And if you're interested in watching it, you can check it out. I will never discourage you from watching a film. All right. With that said, let's just jump right into spoilers so I can start telling you all my thoughts that I had when I was watching. Spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I wrote was there's a big trope that is not good or it's not bad. It's just a trope that I'm beginning to notice. I think because I've seen it in a couple of films now. Is where a city girl comes into like a small town, and then she'll now meet a local man in this small town that also happens to be like a guy from the city. Like he's very well spoken. He dresses on like the other guys that are in the village, and then both of them now start some kind of romance. I'm always like, if this man has been here since he has not found any local girl, he has waiting for one city girl to now come, and that's when the romance now finally starts. This reminds me of My Mother is a Witch, Timini, and if a realist character in that film, and now this one too. I was like, this is a trope that I'm beginning to see. I'm curious to see how many more films I start spotting it in now that I've noticed it. And for you too, let's start seeing how many we spot it in. And if you do, please come and let me know so that I can go and catch it again and say, ha, here you are. The next thing that I wrote was rough play. The amount of rough play we used to do as children. Because when her sister keeps her in the drum and starts filling up the water, at first I was like, which kind of sister could do that one? But then I was remembering that like childhood, we used to play all sorts of games. Thank God we're alive. Because during childhood, really, the kind of games that we used to play. Thank God for life. The next thing that I wrote was driving at night. That scene where she has the car accident, we know that it's obviously because of the plot that she has to stay for the 1 week. But I hated how it came to be. Because the way that accident happens, I'm like, why is she driving in the middle of the night in a foreign town that she doesn't know where she's going? She doesn't really know the road. And then it's pouring rain. Like, why is it now you're having to go? Because when she's even telling Kazim, when Kazim invites her to the parade of lights, she says, and I wrote it down, I'll be going back to town tomorrow. She didn't say I'll be going back to town tonight. If she had said I'll be going back to town tonight, maybe I have something to go and submit, then it should have made that part make more sense. But to just wake up from a nightmare and start driving in the middle of the night with the rain, and then it just didn't make it. Was purely for the plot, and I wish that it was done in a different way to keep her there, but not be so nonsensical in my mind. Then I wrote the AI during the Ajisa Festival. You know that I am anti AI, especially in where we can just hire human editors or actors. Before AI didn't used to do this type of narration, did we really need that AI wasting of water to come and show us Ajisa Festival? The woman was already narrating the story, so she now say, "Oh, there were 3 kings." Then you now do AI king standing. Was it necessary? I is my anti AI. Sorry if you're an AI enthusiast, I am not. So that just kind of took me out. Again, second film I've seen it in Osamede was the first. I guess I'll start seeing more AI images. Is that what I'm now signing up for? Even in film, I should start seeing AI. Hey God. Next thing that I wrote was that the masquerade on fire that she notices, there's that slow motion masquerade that's doing that whole performance. And I'm wondering, is this slow motion and so focused on because this is like a live performance, like this is really happening? But it's not. It seems like it's CGI. So I was like, why is this masquerade randomly on fire? Especially at the end, because we now realize that the actual relevant veiled figure in that scene is the figure in blue. That so it's not even the masquerade that is in slow motion on fire. So why was that masquerade randomly in slow motion, especially? Like it was just so random. Then I said, this girl has no survival instinct because when she sees the guy like chasing her and she has a hammer in her hand And she starts running and then throws the hammer. I said, Madam, not you have a weapon and you now just throw it when somebody is chasing you. Survival instinct zero. Then I want to talk about that guy that came randomly towards the end of the film. Maybe I've even slept at this point if you're watching this film. I will not be surprised if you don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. But anyways, there's a guy that comes towards the end of the film. He starts texting her, trust nobody. Don't trust anybody. When I tell you, when that man started talking, and he gets shot, I said, this is a classic. A classic trope. The expendable character that just comes towards the end of the film to give some info to the protagonist, always incomplete. And before he can ask him more, they are now eradicated. Classic. And that was just like, speaking of just the investigation and the way it goes in this, there were parts of it I liked, and then there was some parts that were just like, oh, wow, that's convenient. Like, and that just leads me right into the password because the guy says it's all in her email, and I'm like, how would you know? I guess Onome was feeding him lies too, I guess, but then it's all in her email. Okay, you now see her email address in the book. You start guessing passwords. You now remember she used to call me Atutu Poyoyo. You're not typing Atutu Poyoyo me. You don't even try with capital letter, lowercase letter, number. We know how it is now. A password. You just got it one time. My sister. Now, wow. Then the paintings on the wall. They said that it is moonlight that activates it. But when they enter, moon already done it. We know they see them. Now, so they shine touchlight on them. We start to see the paintings on the wall. So I'm like, is it not touchlight then that illuminates it? Because if you're saying it's moonlight has already been here. I mean, the wall gets sense to know when human being don't enter. You can activate them with the moon. Hey, God. This film. Then the next thing that I wrote was, now this is towards the end of the movie. When we find out that Kazim is the betrayer, who was shocked? I think nobody. If you were shocked, I'll be surprised. I think we all kind of sensed that Kazim was the betrayer. So that was not the shocking part. The actual shocking part was that Onome was the cat. I didn't see it coming. If you did see it coming, I did not see it coming. I will admit. I didn't see it coming at all. Onome being the big bad villain at the end and like selfish, and then that whole story at the end. I would say at that point, that was the most entertaining part of this film. That ending sequence of Onome the cat and then they fight. That's like the last 5-10 minutes is the best part of this film. And then when they were doing the whole, flashback, I was like, okay, I guess Onome is the one that also struck the car because, when they're doing the flashback of all the things that Onome was controlling, they showed that her accident was Onome that orchestrated it. But it still does not explain why Eme is driving at night in a foreign city that she doesn't know where she's going. Well, I would say that the ending of this film was the best part, as I already said. But to close it out, I want to remind you of how this movie opens. It opens with a quote that says, God became man so that man may become God. And I've been thinking, even after the movie has finished, that how does this now tie into the movie? I have my own thoughts about it. God became man so that man may become God. You can see it in the very literal sense of how the film is that, Onome and the stone, is this stone? I mean, the powers that the Archie's affairs stone, I mean, power, whatever, that they now get, so now they have now become literal gods. But how do you take it in the context of the movie? I'm very interested to know what your own take on that quote is now that you've finished watching the film. If you've been watching this whole video and you have no idea who I am, my name is VDK. I make movie bingo cards, which you can find on my Substack, vdkfilmclub.substack.com, and also talk about films. Overall, Thicker Than Water, was it my favorite movie of this year? Absolutely not. Is it a movie that I will really play for my family or friends on a nice night for us to really come and gather and watch? Absolutely not. But is it a film that as I watch it today, I can say, well, I mean, that was nice, that was cute. Yeah. So I won't completely bash it. I won't say it was completely bad. I just feel like it could have been better, for sure. But overall, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. Well, that's all I have to say about that. Until the next film that I watch and the next video that I make, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.